Hi, uh, this is David Roland Martinez. I'm the API Economy and Digital Ecosystems Practice Lead and Shaper by Admira. I'm also there, a Business Solutions Managing Director. Today's talk will be about AA and APIs. So, as you know, AA is all around our lives. So there is a revolution. So if you add AI to APIs, I think that it's going to be an API explosion. We are going to deep dive in this in why I think this and my vision about how AI and APIs can interact and beneficial mutually. Let's go. Come with me. This is the agenda of the session. We will start by stating crystal clear what AI is. Then we will talk about the causes of the AI revolution. One of those causes is that we have more data than ever, and as a result, we are getting an explosion of APIs. And then I will remark finally, briefly, some important conclusions. Come on, what's AI? Okay, simply put, AI is very simple. Uh, AA is not new. We have been working with AA from the last 40 years, which is a lot in technological terms. Although it's true that the last 10 years, AA has suffered an acceleration thanks to the development on neural networks. And all of you are aware that less than a year, generative AI disrupted the market with the launch of ChatGPT. We will talk about this later in this talk. Now, what I would like to state what AI is. Basically, a neural network is a function that receives some input, execute some algorithm, which is only you have to provide to that function some weights, and you will get some output and a bias, because the results of the calculation won't be 100% accurate. But this is I would say, the scientific definition. But what is AI for us? So here we have some example of what Hollywood has pushed up to us in our minds about about AI. So as you can see, they are quite different than the function I mentioned before. Thanks to AI, thanks to AI, last year, generative AI disrupted the market with the appearance of ChatGPT. We suddenly started to see that the artificial intelligence was going to save the world on one side, and also that they were the demon that was going to destruct the universe, which is something that none of those things are going to happen. From my point of view, artificial intelligence is it's only a tool that is here to make our lives easier. It's true that the impact of ChatGPT is going to be so high in almost every sector of activity, because of the implication of that amount of data and the speed of process AI is offering to the society. We will also talk about it later in this talk, but it's nothing else and nothing more than a rule. Thanks to artificial intelligence, we can see something like that. I have to be honest. I thought it was real, or this one. Okay. So welcome to the AI revolution. So now we are in the second wave of that AI revolution. In the adoption of AI in an enterprise, we can distinguish four waves, which is so-called waves. The first one, which is the predictive AI, which is okay, you have some sample data and you want to make some kind of prediction. This has been possible. Even possible. It is possible and quite easy. Now we are in the generative AI wave when we can go a step further, uh, predictions, and then and also generate content from, I would say, from scratch, but with a scratch. Remember the note that I would like to refer about. We have a big amount of data, but we are generating something from noise. We will also talk about this later. The next wave is autonomous AIs. When machines are completely autonomous, they can execute tasks and even take decision on their own. That will be the next wave. And the final, what will be the artificial general intelligence, which is the AI will be able to think and to learn and even to act as if they were humans. It will be quite difficult to distinguish what has been done by a human and what has been done by AI. But no panic. I think that we are now today. I don't know tomorrow, but today we are quite far from there. At least in a general purpose. So let's deep dive in what is different types of AI. Predictive AI is built on top of this discriminative model. So you train data, then labeling observation, so that when you provide a random input, the model is able to classify or to which of the sets you provided and the training data the input is belonging to. So for example, imagine that you provide to the discriminative model some paintings by Van Gogh and other paintings by other artists, and then you provide to the model a painting. You don't know who is the author, and ask the model to make the and ask the model if the author was Van Gogh. So you will have a prediction with some level of accuracy. Another type of AI is the generative AI. In generative AI, you provide the model training data, for in these cases, observations about horses, and then ask the model to generate a horse, in this case, from random noise. So the generative model creates the content based on the training data you provide. This is what happens, for example, in GPT. Okay, so how did we get there? So in order to arrive to the point that we are today, we have made some steps or stages. The first one, which was at the beginning of the century, was machine learning. Then we get deep learning, which is a step beyond. When in deep learning, we have neural networks that are able to simulate the brain behavior. And then one step further is generative AI, which is when the machine, the algorithm, is able to create from something from scratch. We have seen in the previous slide. Next is now there is a lot of research about foundation model. A foundation model is a generic model that can be pre-trained with different types of data, and after with some adaptation, it can be used in different scenarios. For example, you can use the same foundation model to extract information or to do sentiment analysis or to answer questions or for object recognition and so on. Okay, then let's go and which are the reasons why we are here at this point of AA in the human society. Yeah, today we have a wide variety of data around us that are able to be captured. So we have data about our identity, how are behaving when purchasing on online sites. We also have information about our relationship from social media. Our devices, wearable devices and web and mobile devices are always taking data from us. We also have data, or most of us have a smartwatch of Google Fit in the smartphone to do something about to get information, to capture information about our physical activity, the number of steps, the number of kilometers walked in one day, etc. So in fact, there are studies that the volume of data in cloud in 2 years will be more than 100 zettabytes, which are a lot. But not only that, if we see the projections, we will see that we will have more than 2,000 zettabytes in less than 10 years. As you see, the trend is to multiply by 5 or more each year. That's really a lot. But data management is very complex. Why? Because of the volume of data we have seen that is really huge. We find the data spread across siloed system. You need to manage the data properly. You need to spend a lot of resources in integration and maintenance. Also, security and compliance can be an issue, and you need a talent. And in this area, it's quite difficult to find technical expertise in technological areas. So there are studies that states that around 36% of IT time is spent in designing custom integrations. So there is a strong need of make some kind of a standardization effort so that everything will come together in a more integration fashion and more easy fashion, and of course in a cheaper way. Why? Because business need to do more than less, and this is where AI comes into the scene. AI, simply put, allows you to process a huge amount of data very quick and very fast. It's true that the result have some bias, but the level of accuracy of the results are very high. This allows you to reduce cost even more if you use AI as a service, thanks to APIs. As we will see later. You also thanks to standardization, you also are able to unify data and save time and resources, and the level of accuracy of the results of AI allows you to implement automation, which increases productivity because you are streamlining your process. Okay, so why AI is causing an explosion of APIs? Let me make a spoiler. AI, to be effective, needs to take data from different sources. So integration will be key for the success of any AI strategy. This means that API as a vehicle of integration, as an integration tool, are of superb importance here. Also, regulation will have an impact here. Why? Because AI regulation is true that this is only the regulation on AI is on process. There are some regulated, there are some regulations and some laws about that. But the impact of AI, the changes that AI is causing in the society are so high that regulations are on a review process. Uh, this, as in general, all those regulations have one thing in common, that it will be the AA service provider, the one responsible of guaranteeing the rights and the restrictions and protecting the consumers. So APIs are great here because if you expose AA services through an API, you will be able to make a fine-grained control of security and other runtime policies, which is something that is really, really flexible. And that's great. So these two factors, the need of integration and the need of regulation, from my point of view, are the two ones that are going to cause an explosion of APIs. Let's deep dive in this. Okay, AI as a service. What is AI as a service? AI as a service, it means that you are exposing AI features using APIs, so that you are moving your AI features to the cloud, so the total cost of ownership is reduced. That means that more and more companies can integrate AI into their IT processes to be more competitive than ever by using the benefits AI provides to the industry. So there are a lot of platforms that are providing AI. You have OpenAI. If, for example, OpenAI, if you have taken a look to an OpenAI plugin, you will see that an OpenAI plugin is only an API. Of course, you have not only, it's an API with that has to follow some rules, so that you will have a standard contract that can be consumed by OpenAPI plugin consumers or applications or whatever. So if you standardize the interface, which is the API, you can chain some different components that will talk on their own to provide a more innovative solution. This capability of bundling services is what is causing API explosion from AI, because you can link different amazing features in OpenAI to provide an enhanced experience to the customer. So why we are seeing such massive adoption of AA and APIs together? Okay, because of the API economy. So the API economy benefits, as you know, include continuous improvement, because the time to market is shorter than time. So innovation cycles are also shorter. It's time, so you can generate a competitive advantage driven by value and innovation. As a result, we are seeing that more than 70% of large organizations plan to use medium to high to big digital ecosystems. But there is a danger here. Okay, this is not the danger. These are the good news. IT leaders are identifying API governance as a critical component of their API program, which is you have is something that I insist a lot in its talk, in its conference I did in each event I joined, that you have to, in order to succeed in the API economy, you have to set and define API governance first. And then we can talk about API first, code first, or whatever. But first, really first, should be governance. Why? Because governance helps you to keep the coherence and the consistency across all your API ecosystems, and also guarantees the alignment between business and IT and an API, so that your APIs will be the tool that will boost your business model and make you succeed in the API economy. Without this alignment between business and API program, probably you will fail. So that's why API governance is so important. But the bad news is that the API is increases as too quick, so that there is not enough time to focus on the API governance. So that API adoption is outpacing the API governance pace. You know, they are surpassing API governance. So I would like you to be really committed to API governance. API governance should be is a warranty of success. But okay, this is another topic. Okay, we can talk about it. So the rise of AI needs to integrate the data sources from different data from different sources, different applications from different nature. So you have a lot of things to be integrated, and these needs of integration should be covered, or must be covered through APIs programs. So how to rule them all? Okay. In one hand, we have connectivity. We need a strong integration needs. We have to integrate SaaS, on-prem, and also events. On the other side, we have RPA. We have contents and process that needed to be automated, that previously were done by humans. And finally, we have artificial intelligence. So how we can rule them all, coordinate them, govern them through APIs? You know why? Because APIs are a powerful tool for integration. You can standardize everything so that you can build your systems as if you were playing with Lego pieces. So in this scenario, API management is really huge. It's important. It's really huge. You need a strong API management. That's why I think that API and integration platforms as Gravitee are going to eat the market. We need platform so flexible. We need platform that allows you to control APIs at all of the stages of the life cycle, providing secure APIs, also providing you the tools to see how your APIs are performing and also how your APIs are being used. So we will yeah, I don't want to spoil that because I talking about the use of AI in API lifecycle later on. So let's stop here. Okay. So how AI empowers the API lifecycle? Okay. First of all, what is API lifecycle? Okay, for me, API lifecycle are the set of stages in which the API goes through its life. Okay, it's important to note here that the API lifecycle has two loops: the producer loop, which is the one at the left side of the picture, and the consumer one, which is the one at the right part of the picture. The consumer one starts in strategy, then goes through design, through modeling, testing, implementation, deployment, security management, and strategy once again, because it's the point of contact with the consumer loop. You have to probably you have to see what happens in the consumer, and there it could be needed to introduce some changes in the design and start the producer loop once again. Then if we go through the consumer loop, we have strategy, discovery, development, consumption, monitoring, and monetization. So we are now going to see how some brief examples, because I think that we are almost run out of time. Some simple examples of how AI can do something in each of the stages of the API lifecycle. Okay, so at the strategy stage, how can AI help? For example, by providing insights on using behavior, identifying trends, predicting potential demand from new APIs, analyzing the competitive landscapes, identifying gaps. Here we can make use of predictive AI to make prediction about which are the APIs that the market are demanding. In design and modeling, we can make use of generative AI to give developers or API engineers, designers recommendations about how to design the API best fit and fit to the strategy recommendations we got in the previous stage. And also we can make here use of automate generation of code for APIs. For example, think on asking GPT to write an API exposing books, and GPT will give you all the endpoints in OAS or in YAML format. That's great. The only thing you have to do is to review that everything is following the standard. This decreases a lot the time to market. Also, in the testing stage, AI can be useful. You can use AI to identify the endpoints more use, or identifying vulnerabilities and redesign the API not to be vulnerable. We will come back to this when talking about security. Implementation and deployment. AI allows you to automate some of the management stages of the APIs. For example, when you integrate, when you put AI in your CI/CD pipelines, so DevSecOps or DevOps can be highly improved with the use of AI. Also, in security, as I mentioned before, you can identify potential security vulnerabilities and also detect and mitigating attacks even in real time by providing the artificial intelligence all the security logs and the monitoring information about the API usage in order to detect potential patterns or trends that will mean that there is some anomaly or suspicious activity and take measures to stop them. In the management and discovery, AA allows you to provide recommendation about the APIs that you probably need when you want to develop an app or another application of top of different APIs, and also can provide you with recommendations and best practices to best develop your applications. It's almost the same here. You can use AI to detect coding errors or even to code the app the app on your behalf, so that you can only focus on the performance or identifying potential security vulnerabilities also using AI. In the consumption, it's the same. Depending on how you are using the APIs and providing intelligent search capability, you can have in your API platform AI-powered tool that can assist you in those tasks. Monitoring and optimization, it's once again the same. You can analyze patterns and performance and make predictions so that you can implement policies that will improve the performance of your APIs or predicting potential disasters, I mean, unavailabilities or whatever, or peaks. For example, you can make prediction about traffic peaks and then provide runtime policies to keep the SLA untouched. Also, on monetization, you can analyze the usage and then make a prediction of potential revenue streams so that you can build your business model depending on the patterns AA has identified for you. Yeah, and that's all. Just to remark some conclusions, I would like to leave clear that, okay, of course, AI revolution have just started, so be prepared and also welcome. So how APIs can help AA is APIs eases integrations from different AI systems, also simplifies compliance as API can act as a central point of exposure of AI services. So meeting with regulation obligations is easier, and also exposing AI services through APIs reduces the TCO and increases the adoption. And the other side is how AI can improve API. API platforms. We have seen that AI can be applied to API lifecycle, and also that API requires a strong API manager. Okay, so thank you very much, and I hope you have enjoyed this talk, and I'm always open to have further discussions after in the question and answer section and everywhere, every time on LinkedIn. Just look for me, ping me. I'm always sharing. I'm always trying to share amazing content. So yeah, thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much to Gravitee for continuing me to be in this amazing event. Bye.